All right, welcome. Today, we are diving deep into something pretty incredible, the very code of life itself. We're going to explore how humanity has managed to survive and, completely thrive, not just by playing by nature's rules, but by figuring out how to read, influence, and sometimes even rewrite them.
I mean, just stop and think about it for a second. There are 8 billion of us on this planet. We have faced down famines, we've battled plagues, we've dealt with all kinds of predators. So how on earth did we get here? How did we manage to not just scrape by, but basically take over? It's a massive question. And the answer, well, it's actually pretty wild. Yeah, that's it. We've become biological hackers. We don't just exist within the boundaries of nature. We actively get in there and manipulate the systems all around us and inside of us to get what we want. We find the source code and we start tweaking it. So let's break down how we actually do it.
Okay, first up, let's look at how we hack the world outside our own bodies, specifically the food we depend on to survive. This is like ground zero for our story as biological engineers.
It all starts with a term that sounds kind of old-fashioned, right? Animal husbandry. But don't let that name fool you. This is one of the oldest biological hacks in the book. It's a systematic process of deciding which animals get to pass on their genetic code, all to produce more meat, more milk, or maybe even better resistance to disease.
And make no mistake, this process is incredibly deliberate. The goal is super simple. Get more of the stuff we want. I mean, take the Hisardale sheep. It's not an accident. It's a targeted crossbreed, specifically designed to have better wool. Or even crazier, the mule. We literally combined 2 different species, a horse and a donkey, to create a brand new hybrid animal that's perfect for hard work. I mean, this is a hack we've been using for centuries.
And of course, we didn't stop with animals, right? We took that exact same logic and applied it to plants. Plant breeding is the same fundamental idea. You purposefully manipulate a species' genetic code to create a version that just works better for us. Higher yields, better taste, or maybe the ability to survive a nasty drought.
Seriously, you can think of this process just like a software development cycle, but for nature. First, you gather all the existing code, the entire genetic library, which is called germplasm. Then you pick the parent plants that have the traits you're looking for. You combine them, you look for the kids that are even better than the parents, and then you test and test and test before finally rolling out the software update for all the farmers to use. It is a powerful, methodical hack of the entire plant kingdom.
So we've hacked the world around us to feed ourselves. But maybe the most sophisticated hacks of all are the ones we apply to ourselves. So let's turn our focus inward, to the human body.
Now, the first line of code we really have to get a handle on is our own immune system. The best way to think about it is like a pre-installed, super advanced firewall. Its entire job is to find and destroy malicious code, pathogens like viruses and bacteria that try to invade our system.
And this biological firewall of ours, it has 2 main layers. First, there's innate immunity. This is basically your factory default setting that you're born with. It's a general-purpose barrier. Things like your skin, stomach acid, some basic defender cells. It's not specific. Its job is just to keep bad stuff out. But the really clever bit is the acquired immunity. This is the layer that learns. When it encounters a new threat, it analyzes it, it beats it, and this is the crucial part, it remembers it, so it can launch a much faster, more targeted attack the next time it shows up.
And we can get this memory in one of 2 ways. Active immunity is when you do the work. Your body runs into a pathogen, either by actually getting sick or through a vaccine, and it builds its own long-lasting defenses. And that's where vaccines come in. They're the ultimate hack, right? It's like a software patch that teaches your immune system to recognize a virus without you having to suffer through the full-blown attack. Then you have passive immunity, which is kind of like getting a temporary security key. A baby gets ready-made antibodies from its mother, which provides short-term protection while its own system is still booting up.
But here's the thing. We're not the only hackers in this game. Pathogens have their own ways of exploiting our systems. Just look at the malaria parasite. It uses a mosquito as a delivery vehicle, first setting up shop and multiplying in the liver, and then launching an all-out assault on our red blood cells. When those cells burst, they release this nasty toxin called hemazoin, and that's what causes the terrible fever and chills the disease is known for. It's just a vicious and really effective hack of our own biology.
So, okay, hacking biology sounds amazing. It gives us these incredible advantages. But what happens when the code goes wrong? What about when there are bugs, glitches, or a full-on system crash?
Okay, this is where things get really interesting. On the left, you've got a problem from our own animal breeding, inbreeding depression.
If you keep breeding closely related animals for too long, bad genes start to build up, and it leads to less fertility and poor health. It's a bug we created ourselves. Now look at the right. Autoimmune disease. This is when the human immune system gets confused and fails to recognize its own cells, so it starts attacking them. See the parallel here? In both cases, the system turns on itself. One is a bug from artificial selection, the other is a glitch in our own internal code.
And then there's the ultimate system crash, cancer. Healthy cells have this built-in rule called contact inhibition. It basically means when they bump into other cells, they stop growing. It's like a basic traffic rule for your body. Cancer cells are cells that have completely forgotten that rule. They just blow right through the stop signs, dividing over and over, creating tumors and stealing resources from all the healthy cells around them. It's a total rebellion at the cellular level.
And HIV, that's a whole other kind of system failure, one caused by a brilliant external hacker. It's an absolute masterclass in biological espionage. The virus first hijacks our own immune cells, these macrophages, and turns them into little virus factories. Then, it goes after the command and control center of our immune system, the helper T cells. And by destroying these cells, it doesn't just cause one sickness, it systematically dismantles our entire defense network, leaving the body wide open to any common infection that comes along.
We've seen the incredible power and, the peril of manipulating biology. So where are we headed? Well, the next frontier isn't just about tweaking the code anymore, it's about rewriting it from the ground up.
Let's go back to our food supply. The next great hack might just be single-cell protein. Think about it. Instead of raising a whole cow just for its protein, we can use microbes like spirulina that grow insanely fast. And the real genius here is the efficiency. We can grow these proteins on waste products, stuff like molasses or even sewage, essentially turning garbage into a super high-value food source.
And in the plant world, we have something called tissue culture, which starts to feel like straight-up sci-fi. You can take one tiny piece of a plant, called an explant, and from that one piece, grow a complete genetically identical clone in a lab. Scientists have even used this tech to fuse the cells of a potato and a tomato together to create a, wait for it, pomado. Now, it wasn't a commercial hit, obviously, but it just goes to show you how far we can push the very idea of what a plant even is.
All right, so we've gone through all of this from livestock to lymphocytes, from cornfields to cancer. What's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing you should remember from all this?
At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this. Our story as a species is completely tied up with our relationship with biology. We aren't just passive observers living in nature. We are active agents. Our ability to look at the world, understand it, and then manipulate the code of life, that is the single greatest tool we have ever had for survival. Period.
And that leaves us, you and me, with one last really big question. Our power to hack biology is growing exponentially. We are quickly moving from just selective breeding to directly editing genes. So, as our technical skills start to outpace our wisdom, what new ethical rules, what new guidelines are we going to need to create for ourselves to handle this incredible power responsibly? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.